Hey guys, this is Goku, and on this channel we talk about poker and ideas that can improve your life. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and click the subscribe button because I'll be honored to have you here. Today we're gonna jump into another GTO trainer session. This is a series where we play all different kinds of GTO spots, and today we're playing the tournament spot on 50 big blind stacks. This is an MP2 open versus big blind call. We've already played, I think, 350 hands or so. So yeah, we're 3/4 in the spot because each spot we're playing 500 hands. So this should be fun. So far we're doing really good. So let's see if we can have a perfect EV session this time. For our first hand, we've got pocket tens on a 5-7 ace. I think this is a bet 2. Yes, it is. Solver plays bet 2 here 98% of the time. Villain calls. We've got a 9 of clubs on the turn. Do we continue betting here or do we check? I think this might be an overbet. Is it? It's not. So there goes our perfect EV session. It's a very bad play here to overbet with our hand. We should just check 99.93% of the time. But yeah. 7 of spades on the river, we're gonna check behind. And Villain's got an ace, so we lose. Ace queen off on a 7-3 king with 2 spades, it's a bet 2 again. Yeah. Villain calls. Another 3 on the turn. We continue betting, I would think. Or do we not? I think we do. Again, we should just check here 19% of the time. Continuing betting is small EV loss, but just 0.6% of the strategy. Now here a queen on the river, we're gonna check behind. Okay. King queen off on a 10 ace-7, we're gonna bet 2. Or even bet 5 here, 86% of the time. Villain raises. I think we call here. 73% of the time, okay. 6 of hearts on the turn. We're checking behind. And surprisingly, the solver likes betting here. A quarter pot bet, 83% of the time. But checking is also fine. EV-wise, but just 15.5% of the strategy. 9 of diamonds on the river. And I think we're gonna shove here. Yeah, that's the ideal action, but 20% of the strategy. So I think the solver is also doing quite a bit of betting 3/4 here. King 9 of hearts on an ace 5-6 with 2 hearts. Got the nut flush draw. I think we're betting 5. No, we're betting 2. But betting 5 is the same EV-wise, but 29% of the strategy. Ace 3 suited on a queen deuce 9. It's a bet 2. It's a bet 5, 60% of the time. We get called. We hit our ace on the turn. So we're gonna continue betting. Could that be an overbet? I'm gonna try and see. Nope. It should rather be a 3/4 pot bet 70% of the time. It should almost never be an overbet. Pocket kings on a 9-10-10. Villain leads to us. We're gonna call. 4 of spades on the turn. Villain leads again, this time 3/4. We're gonna call again. And queen of diamonds on the river means we're going to bet 3/4. As we should, and villain folds. Ace 10 off on a 5 king ace. Is that a bet 5? It is, yeah. Nice. We get called. 7 of clubs on the turn. Now, do we continue betting? Do we check here? I think we should rather continue betting, but how much? 3/4? Yes. Should be a 3/4 pot bet ideally. Villain folds. 9-10 suited on a Jack King 3. It's a bet 2. It's a bet 5, 62% of the time. Bet 2 is just 6% of the strategy, so the silver's doing 30% of checking. We're gonna call the raise. And we should fold quite often here, 92%. And call 7% with our hand. Guess it makes sense. We just have a gut shot. And now we're gonna fold obviously to the 3/4 pot bet by the villain. Ace-4 suited on a 9-10-7. It's gonna be a bet 2. It's a bet 5. We get called. 6 of spades on the turn. Villain leads for a third of the pot bet. We're gonna call. Raising this is the ideal action, played in 28% of the time. Calling is the more frequent play, but very small EV loss. Now the villain overbets the pot, and I think we have to fold. Yep. Pocket kings on a 5-ace jack. It's a bet 2 or a bet 5. We get called. Villain checks on the turn. I think we're gonna check again, and we're gonna check as well. Yeah, it's 50-50, checking or betting 7. 3 of hearts on the river means we're going to bet 5. Should rather be a bet 8, 86% of the time. Okay. Aces on a 4-queen jack. It's bet 5. Yeah, it should be 88% of the time. Villain calls. 8 of diamonds on the turn. And we bet 3/4. Again, that's the ideal action. Played 69% of the time. Villain shoves, and we're gonna call. As we should, and villain's got queen 10, so. 9 jack suited on a 5-8 queen. That's a bet 2. It's a bet 5. We get raised. Now we fold. Nope. We don't fold here. We call 95% of the time. Folding is medium EV loss, but just 2% of the strategy. Ace queen off on an 8-9-6. We're gonna bet 2 or check. We get called. Another 6 of spades on the turn. I think we're gonna check this time. Yeah, we should. And we hit our queen on the river. Now do we raise here? Or do we just call? I think we just call. Yeah, we should just call 86% of the time, raise 14. Jack 9 of hearts on a 9-8 ace. It's gonna be bet 2, I think. No, bet 5 is the preferred play. But bet 2 is the more frequent play and pretty much same EV wise. We hit our flush on the turn. And we're gonna bet 7. Okay, bet 3.5 would be the ideal action, so just donk betting here. And now a 10 of clubs on the river, and villain leads for a quarter pot bet, we're gonna just shove. Villain folds. Pocket fives on a 4-9-6. It's gonna be a bet too. It is. We get called. We hit a 5 on the turn. And now the villain leads for a third of the pot bet. We're gonna raise pot. That's the ideal action. Villain calls. And a 6 of hearts on the river means we're shoving. And the villain folds. King, queen on a jack, queen 7. It's gonna be a bet 2. Or a bet 5. We get raised. Is this a re-raise? Sometimes. I think it could be, right? But this time I'm gonna call. Yeah, it's a call. 84% and 16% it's a raise. 9 of diamonds on the turn. Villain now leads for a 3/4 pot bet. We're just gonna call. And it's a 50-50 between raising and calling. And now obviously we call on the river. And villain's got 2 pairs, so fortunately we lose, but as we can see we played the hand perfectly. Ace 5 suited on a queen 3-4. It's gonna be a bet 2. And villain folds. Ace 8 suited on a 5-10-4. Is that a bet 5 or bet 2? I think it's a bet 2. No, it's a bet 5. We get called. 5 of diamonds on the turn. And could that be a raise pot? Nope, should just be a call 99.5% of the time. Raising is medium EV loss here, but just 0.5% of the strategy. And now we missed. Villain checks. So we're gonna shove. I'm not gonna know what happens here because the solver doesn't calculate this tree. But he would have lost to a flush. Pocket 8s on a deuce ace queen. It's a bet 2. It's a bet 5. Okay, 59% of the time. We get called. 10 of hearts on the turn. I think we check here. 52% of the time. And an ace of hearts on the river. We're checking. Okay, so checking here is bad. It's a medium EV loss, but just 0.8% of the strategy. We should bet half pot here, ideally, 50% of the time. And I guess another 50% we should bet. We should donk bet or over bet. Pocket 7s on a 4 tray ace. That's a bet 2. We get raised, so we're calling. We're falling here, pocket 7s. 99% of the time we should be falling here, pocket 7s. Interesting. We're falling now on the turn. Yeah. Ace king off on a queen 5 queen with 2 clubs. We're gonna bet 2 or check. 9 of hearts on the turn. This time we're gonna check behind. We should. And now a 5 of spades on the river and villain bets 3/4. We're gonna call. Perfect. Ace queen suited on an ace jack deuce. Is that a bet 5? It is. Villain folds. Ace queen off on a jack 3 ace. Is that a bet 5 again? Yes, it is. Villain folds. Ace jack off on a deuce 6-3. That's a bet 2. It is. Villain calls. 10 of hearts on the turn. Do we continue betting here with our hand or do we check? I think we check mostly. Okay. Now this is a very interesting spot. So the solver overbets here 92% of the time with ace jack off on this turn. Checking is fine EV wise, but just less than 7% of the strategy, which is quite interesting. And deuce of hearts on the river means we're probably overbetting now. Nope. So if we don't overbet the turn, then we should just give up on the river, because overbetting the river is a quite substantial EV loss, so a very bad play. Jack 10 of spades on a 6 tray 6. We're gonna bet 2. Yeah, the solver agrees. Villain calls. Queen of hearts on the turn. I think we continue betting here with our hand. I'm gonna check. Probably we should bet. Right. Okay, so it's bet 7 38% of the time, check 38% of the time. And we're doing I think a dong bet the rest of the time. Hard to say. 7 of diamonds on the river means we're falling. Okay, we've played our 25 hands for the day. And this wasn't the greatest session, unfortunately. Minus 32 BBs of EV loss. Our frequencies are only a bit off. But yeah, we had this hand. Quite bad one with ace jack off. We bet the river, which was a bad play. And also this one at the beginning, pocket tens. On an ace 5, 7, 9 board with 3 clubs. We continue betting on the turn, which was a very big mistake. Should just be a check. But other than that, wasn't that bad. But yeah, we had a few hands where we made some mistakes, some medium mistakes. But well, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, please leave a comment below. If you stayed this long, just write GTO or ask any question you might have. Please subscribe if you're not already. I'll give this video a thumbs up. Check out some of my other content. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.